Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we have a video by Austin Sweat titled 14 moves that must happen this NBA offseason. Have that be via trade, offseason signings, really any of the above. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through this video, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion on if I think these trades should happen or not. I'm sure Austin here is going to give his explanation to why, and then I'll also provide mine. So here we go, guys. I'll link to the video in the description below. Alright.
Season's far from over, and we still got a lot left to see. But with the rumors that have surrounded the NBA and some of the top players for the entire year or even longer, we can only wonder what's in store for this offseason. With all the crazy ones that are free agents,
it's gonna be crazy.
All the teams ready to sign them or make trades to try to win their team a championship. We can only think about the moves that are gonna go down and how the entire league is gonna look next year. So we're looking at 14 moves that should happen this offseason. Before we do though, I gotta mention two big free agents that I don't think are going anywhere, and that's Klay and Kemba. And
really, doesn't think Klay Thompson's gonna go anywhere? I don't know about that one. I think Klay's away from Golden State after the season. I don't know why. I just have a feeling he's ready to do like the next step in his career because he doesn't really have much more to accomplish, I guess. But Kemba, I could see being a lifer for sure.
It's gonna definitely affect what the Warriors do, and unless major trades are made, it's gonna leave Charlotte with not much room at all to make any free agent signings. But with that said, let's move on to Kevin Durant. KD to the Knicks is one of those rumors that no one really knows where it came from or how it started. Kinda like the LeBron to the Lakers rumors that went around for a couple of years, before he actually...
I will say, it will be the Knicks or the Lakers that KD goes to.
Ended up signing there. The rumors turned out to be right, and I'd say the same thing's gonna happen with Durant. And him signing with the Knicks at the end of this season is one of the most likely off-season moves, because Golden State doesn't realistically have the money to keep him for the amount that he wants. And unless they plan on taking a DeMarcus Cousins contract, they can only either keep Klay or Durant. And like I said, I don't think Klay's going anywhere. But Kevin Durant
I'm gonna get
off on his own.
I'm gonna get KD over Klay.
His career isn't always shadowed by the fact that he can only win with a super team. And from a talent standpoint, the Knicks don't have any players besides Dennis Smith Jr. to attract KD and another free agent, but they will have a ton of cap space, Dennis Smith Jr., and with how things are looking, they'll most likely have Zion Williamson. So it's turning into a perfect storm for this rumor to come true.
You know what? I mean, honestly, could you see Klay and Kevin Durant going to the Knicks? It would be a perfect situation. Like, teaming up Klay with Zion is already perfect. You got Kevin Knox on the team. You got Dennis Smith. I feel like it's a good situation. Maybe we could get Boogie too. Just get all the Golden State Warriors over on the Knicks.
Kyrie Irving. After last season, there were rumors that Kyrie Irving would also be joining the
Boston
Knicks
or Lakers for him.
But that was until earlier this season when he verbally committed to re-signing with the
I think he's
Celtics.
staying with Celtics.
But then came the plot twist on October 4th, when less than 24 hours after the Knicks cleared cap space to sign 2 max contracts, Irving was asked about his future and said, "At the end of the day, I'm going to do what's best for me and my career. I don't owe anyone shit." And then said,
"That's true, but it's like that I think by that statement he's saying that he does not, he doesn't have to tell media anything. Like, that does not mean he's not going back to the Celtics, man. I think that means that he doesn't got to tell anybody anything. Like, he's going to do what's best for him, and that's it.
Ask me again July 1st.
Exactly.
Which, unsurprisingly, immediately brought back all the rumors that he would be the second max player to sign with them, along with Durant, or maybe even Anthony Davis. And after going back on his word like this, it's pretty convincing. And then this video just showed up that people are saying is Kyrie telling Durant there's 2 max spots. It's time.
I didn't see this. I didn't see this.
Now,
oh my god, dude!
Enough for anyone to tell if he's actually saying that or not, but it's only been heating these rumors up. We saw what Kyrie could do with LeBron, so now we might just get to see what he can do with KD next season.
Ooh, that'd be something.
Speaking of LeBron, that also brings up the point of Kyrie's call to apologize to LeBron in January. After leaving the Cavs in 2017 to step out from under LeBron's shadow, Kyrie's been forced to be a leader of some of the most talented young players in the league on the Celtics, which led to him finally seeing things from LeBron's point of view. So he apologized for being that young player that wanted to have everything at his fingertips. And getting this new perspective and being able to see things from LeBron's point of view may have been just enough for him to regret leaving James.
I still think he wants to win as a leader. I still think so.
It's a lot less likely than him going to the Knicks, but there is still a small chance Kyrie Irving ends up as a Laker. And then we have Anthony Davis. After the Pelicans,
AD is such, I don't know where AD's going to end up, guys. I have no idea. No idea. I think Celtics, I think Lakers, but it hasn't happened yet, so I don't know, man.
Rightfully
I have no
fired Dell
idea.
Demps,
You guys tell
there's
me.
a big chance that the proposed Lakers trade does go down, and they send all their young assets
Don't
to
do
New
it,
Orleans
Lakers.
in
Don't do it.
exchange for AD. And I think that's a much better offer than anything else they could get. But what we also learned from all that nonsense back and forth at the deadline was the rumor of Davis going to the Celtics in return for Jason Tatum. Davis said he'd be willing to play for Boston, and rumors have said that Jason wouldn't mind being the face of the Pelicans franchise. It would compromise Boston's long-term future, but it's looking like they're coming up on a time
They
where
got
they
so
may
many
have to
draft
choose
picks.
if they want to win now or build towards their future. And this would be the deciding factor.
And AD's only 25.
This is most likely to happen only if the Pelicans don't take the Lakers deal and if Kyrie Irving actually re-signs there. But it really all depends on Kyrie's decision. If he leaves to New York, Boston probably doesn't make this Davis trade. If KD doesn't go to New York...
Why not? I mean, look at the Celtics last season. Like, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie. I mean, Terry Rozier can be a starter, and I think he's ready to take over the reins if Kyrie leaves. And you add an AD, I don't see why they want to do it still.
The Knicks have the potential to trade for Davis.
Plus, you got Jaylen Brown.
If Kyrie and KD go to New York together, then AD has the best chance of ending up as a Laker next year. Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard was doing everything he could to get out of San Antonio, his main preferred destination was his hometown team of the Lakers.
Clippers or Raptors.
He wanted to live
guaranteed.
and play in LA. But after the Spurs refused to trade him there, he's been a member of the Raptors. Now, unless they dominate the playoffs and win a championship, I think he ends up being a Clipper next year.
Yep.
Because he's made it clear that he doesn't want to play on the Lakers anymore behind LeBron, and he'd rather go and play for the Clippers. And the fact that he just recently bought a $13 million home in San Diego only fuels those rumors.
God damn, bro, so much money.
Right, sure, he bought a house in Toronto too, but he needed somewhere to live while he played there. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. Right now, DeMarcus Cousins...
Boogie... I feel like Boogie is going back to the Warriors. I don't know why, because if they lose all these players, they're going to do whatever they can to try to get Boogie back, and that was the Warriors were the only team that gave him a chance. That $5 million contract, so we might reward them with his services as one of the best centers in the NBA. That's my thoughts.
Is playing solid for the Golden State Warriors, and while he might not ever fully return to his former self, certain teams should definitely be interested in him in the offseason. If he can still manage to give a team around 15 and 10 a night when he's made a full return, with his passing and his shooting ability, that's all a team would need from him. I still don't see him getting any huge contract offers, but I think that the teams that will offer him the most money would be either the Clippers or the Lakers. The Lakers aren't going to have a center on their roster by the offseason, and they're going to need all the star power they can get when next season comes around. So Cousins could be their guy to either start or come off the bench. And the same goes for the Clippers. If they plan on signing Kawhi Leonard, they're going to need to give him a better center than Zubac. So if teams still aren't offering Cousins big money, it only makes sense that a playoff team without a center goes after him. And speaking of centers, there's Nikola Vucevic. And even though...
Vucevic, I still like the idea of him on the Dallas Mavericks alongside Kristaps and Luka. That's my kind of like thing. I think that he might end up there. Also, maybe a situation where he signs for a little less money with the Charlotte Hornets and plays alongside Kemba would be a nice fit. But either that, or maybe the Magic re-signed them and they end up trading Mo Bamba. I guess I'm not really sure yet.
Although the man made the All-Star team, I still feel like he's been underappreciated by a lot of people for how good he's been. And that, combined with the fact that he's in his prime and an unrestricted free agent this year, means that he's going to get offered big money by a new team.
It's
now,
a contract
he could easily end up on the Clippers or the Lakers for the reasons we mentioned earlier, but we're not going to focus everything on those two teams. But either way, a team that I think has an even better chance of signing him is the Mavericks. After they traded away Harrison Barnes to clear cap space, there's already been rumors that have come out and said that they are going to pursue Vucevic in the offseason to form an international big three. A move like this would give them shooting ability at all five
that's a nice looking squad, man.
And could lead them right into the playoffs if they're able to fill out the rest of their roster.
That's a good
Another guy
team
that could end up helping a playoff team is Jimmy Butler. Even though
Jimmy Butler, you want to know where I want to see Jimmy Butler go to? I want to see Jimmy go to the Miami Heat. I feel like that is such a great fit for both sides because Jimmy gets to go to a team where he gets to be the number one option, but at the same time, you still have all the talent around him where it's like, I don't think Jimmy Butler could carry a team to the finals by himself at this point in his career. But in this circumstance, man, it's like you have all the other like really good solid role players. Josh Richardson, Hassan Whiteside, all those guys around him. I feel like that's the perfect fit.
Even though Philly has come out and said that they would like to keep both Tobias and Jimmy Butler, I don't think there's any real chance that that's possible.
No,
and I can see them keeping Harris over Jimmy when it comes down to it. And if that does turn out to be the case, then where would Jimmy go? Well, again, if we're not focusing only on the big market teams, I could see him going to a team like the Pacers to play alongside Victor Oladipo.
Not a bad fit.
They've both got similar defensive-minded like-minded styles and are both team leaders.
I like that.
So it might not work out, or it could turn out to be great because Indiana has a lot of cap space this offseason, and they could definitely use a player like him in their system. But if that doesn't work out, he could possibly end up on a team like the Mavs if they don't end up getting Vucevic. With guys like Luka, Hardaway Jr., and Kristaps, having Jimmy Butler to hold down the defensive end of things would be just what this team needs.
That's a nice fit, I guess.
But then again, Dallas doesn't have a great history with players with big egos. Right now, there's a lot of possibilities where Jimmy could end up, but these are the two that I'm going
Detroit Pistons,
Comment
maybe?
your thoughts down below on where you think Butler might sign.
Detroit Pistons.
We can move on to the next player in DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan, God, I don't even know. I can't think of a team that could realistically use DeAndre Jordan right now. It's not that he's a bad player. I can't think of a team that could, that needs him all that much. I guess, once again, maybe Charlotte, maybe the Washington Wizards if Dwight walks away and, they can get him for a good deal. I guess somebody like that. The Atlanta Hawks also wouldn't be too bad. Go DeAndre and John Collins at the front court. That's also another pretty decent fit.
So DeAndre's definitely not going to the Mavs or the Clippers because... yeah, but I can see the Spurs or Lakers going after.
Spurs is a good one.
The Spurs definitely need more depth at certain positions.
That's a nice one.
If they want to make a good run in the playoffs with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge.
I like that fit.
And DeAndre would be a great fit with Aldridge because he could play down low and protect the paint while Aldridge stretches the floor. But I don't know how likely this would be with their salary situation. So if it's not them,
DeAndre's not a $20 million center no more.
LeBron James has had a history of success with traditional big men throughout all of his finals appearances. And always having a guy down low like DeAndre to pass the ball off to would be a perfect fit. And while we're speaking of big men, we can look at Nikola Mirotic.
Stay on the Bucks, Mirotic. It's the perfect team for you.
Right now couldn't be a better fit on the Milwaukee Bucks, but sadly for them, when they have to give Chris Middleton a near max contract this offseason, they're not going to have money to re-sign him. So I can see the Utah Jazz signing him to a long-term deal.
Yeah. The Jazz. I'm sorry, man. I got too excited. I started clicking buttons, man. Yes, please get rid of Derek Favors and sign this man. Get a stretch four alongside Gobert, please. Please, just do it. Just do it.
Playoffs, and Mirotic can help him do that. Plus, they've been trying to get him on the team since he played on the Bulls, and even tried to make a trade for him at the deadline this year. So this is their opportunity to finally replace Derek Favors in the starting lineup and give the team some more much-needed shooting. And then there's Derrick Rose. Now, with how Rose has played this year, he's going to get a much better offer this summer
him on the T-Wolves.
than what the Timberwolves are going to be able to pay him. And there's two teams that are in need of a point guard that want to win now, and that's the Pacers and the
Pacers, both these teams, Donovan Mitchell, Victor Oladipo, I feel like both those guys are more like ball-dominant guards, so I don't know if I want Derrick Rose in that type of team, just because I like the Darren Collisons of the world that can kind of play off of Victor Oladipo, so I don't know if I absolutely like this fit. I feel like maybe the Orlando Magic, potentially, they got Markelle Fultz, but, what better player to mentor a guy that's coming off injury, has confidence issues, Markelle Fultz than Derrick Rose. So I kind of like the Magic in this case.
The Jazz. Ricky Rubio's contract's up after this year for Utah, and they're going to want to fill that spot. They tried to get Mike Conley in a trade, but getting D Rose would be even better for them. It would let Rose shine as a starter, and himself and Mitchell would be a great duo. Plus, whoever signs him could possibly get him for cheaper than he's really worth. If that does so happen to be the Pacers, though, they'd finally have a better point guard than Darren Collison.
Collison's not bad. He's okay.
Need the spot filled. And
Darren
I think
Collison's
both of them
not
are going to
bad.
go after them the hardest. So it'll be interesting to see which one he ends up signing with. And speaking of point guards, there's Terry Rozier. Who's going to be a
Phoenix Suns, please. Okay, it's Phoenix Suns unless they get John Morant. Unless that happens. Or the Orlando Magic yet again.
Restricted free agent at the end
or maybe it stays on the Celtics.
And with the fact that there's no way that the Celtics are going to really be able to match any other offers that a player as good as himself is going to get,
if Kyrie
without a doubt ending up on a new team next year. And I think that team's got to be the Orlando Magic. Even though they acquired Markelle Fultz at the trade deadline, that's still a risk and a big work in progress. So I can see them throwing big money at a young point guard like Rozier to lead their team. With the potential he's shown on the Celtics, and approval from a guy like Kyrie Irving saying he's a starting guard in this league, he can be exactly what the Magic need going forward. And sticking with point guards, next there's Lonzo Ball. The
stats don't lie. The Lakers have been proven to be better this season with Lonzo Ball. I don't feel like you get rid of him unless it's for a big, huge blockbuster trade. But I don't know, man. I want the Lakers to keep their young core. I don't want them to trade those guys away.
There's no doubt that if AD doesn't get traded to the Lakers, it looks like LA is going to find other deals for their young guys. And there's been mutual interest with the Phoenix Suns, who, even though they have Tyler Johnson now, still desperately need a point guard. Lonzo would be the
He's not even a point guard, he's a freaking
fit
shooting guard,
alongside
playing
Devin
point
Booker,
guard.
because Devin can go off on offense, and Lonzo can hold down the defensive end.
I do like
the only
that.
thing here is I'm
That's
not
a nice
too
fit.
sure what Phoenix would offer in return, but I'm sure the Lakers would take a deal that gives them more cap room. And worst case scenario, the Lakers end up keeping a great defensive-minded point guard for next year. And then the last point guard on the list is Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I like Monte Morris a lot on the Denver Nuggets. I don't feel like he needs to stick around there. I mean, hell, bro, I'll take him on my Detroit Pistons as a backup. I mean, Reggie Jackson's playing nice right now. Or maybe we start him in Reggie Jackson. You know, maybe we do a Reggie Isaiah backcourt. I don't know, man, but
now, if Indiana misses out on D Rose, I could see them going after Isaiah to fill that spot with a guy with experience. IT's another guy that they'll be able to get for cheap, and still has big upside if he stays healthy. If not the Pacers though, he could really end up on the Wizards, who still have Bradley Beal on the roster, and with Wall out, they're gonna need someone to fill his spot.
Need to be a cheap ass contract, that's
I really think the Wizards just need to rebuild now, but depending on what they decide to do, Isaiah could be a good option for them. But since he's probably gonna be so cheap, a team like the Bucks could definitely use him, because they're probably gonna have to lose out on Eric Bledsoe, maybe Malcolm Brogdon.
By the way, this video is, I believe, about a month old. Since this, Eric Bledsoe did sign an extension with the team. So
when they give Middleton his max contract. So unless they want George Hill starting, which they don't, they need IT more than anyone. So if I had to choose somewhere, the Bucks are where I'd say he'd end up.
What about the
last
Spurs?
on the list is Tobias Harris. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Tobias stays with Philly, but if for some reason he doesn't, he could go to two teams that we mentioned earlier, which are the Mavs or the Jazz. Both teams have...
What about the Brooklyn Nets? I feel like the Nets, him and D'Lo, like that with Karis LeVert. Oh, baby, that'd be a nice looking ass team right there, man.
Openings at either forward position.
I like the Nets with him.
Harris can bring instant offense. Out of the two, I think he's got a better chance of ending up in Utah, assuming they don't get Nikola Mirotic, who we mentioned earlier. But Harris would fit in great as a power forward for them. They'd need to make a couple trades to clear some salary space, but if he leaves Philly, I think that's where he ends up.
Okay, guys, that is the end of the video right there. I mean, I think overall, this guy did a good job, with the list and everything like that. I mean, there's a few that I have my own opinions on. I'm sure we all got our own different opinions. So, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this. Go check out this dude's channel, man. He makes great content. I do a lot of reactions to his videos. I just think he's really well-spoken and stuff like that. So, I definitely respect his content. But, yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.